for Chris, and stay away from my house. Somebody mentioned autoerotic asphyxiation. I know David Carradine was my hero. They found him hanging in a closet, looking like a midget's coat rack. They really should establish some sort of cleanup crew for that, because could you imagine embarrassing the family? But that's not what I'm here to talk about tonight. Some of you may have heard this report. It was in the news about a week ago. Some 16-year-old girl in Florida called the police to file a complaint against her mother for having loud and enthusiastic sex in the adjacent bedroom. You heard this? All right. She was very upset when the police informed her there is no statute against consenting adults having loud and enthusiastic sex in the bedroom, even if it's a mom. Now, there's a couple of points to address here. First of all, this illustrates one of the differences between a 16-year-old girl and a 16-year-old boy. Because a 16-year-old girl, after finding out she's going to be upset by the police, she's going to call her best friend and say, "Brittany, oh my God, I am so grossed out. My mom's been in the bedroom with her boyfriend for an hour, and they're making noises. Look, I can't stay here tonight. It's just too disgusting. Can I come over to your place?" Cool. We can listen to Katy Perry and practice bisexual kissing. 16-year-old girl. Do that punchline. 16-year-old boy. He's going to call his best friend after whacking off at least once. And it's going to be, "Dude, my mom's in the bedroom with her boyfriend. Listen. Yeah, they've been going at it for about an hour. Dude's got stamina. I got to give him that. Right, you coming over, you bringing your dad's drill to drill a hole in the wall. Dude, it's my mom." But just so you know, that's just token moral resistance so he doesn't have to feel guilty later. "All right, but we're going to have to be quiet like stealth ninja. All right, see you in a little bit." And then he looks at his watch to see if he has time to whack off one more time before his friend gets there. So 16-year-old girl, 16-year-old guy. Now, I haven't been able to determine the name of the mom, which, aside from the fact that she's risen to the top of my Mills list, and Chris can understand this, moms I'd love to stalk. I'd really like to congratulate her for having the balls. Doesn't matter whose balls they were. To be unembarrassed and unawkward about being a sexual person, even with her kids in the next room. Because most of us would just feel too weird to go up to our kids on a Sunday afternoon and say, "Kids, me and your mom are going to the bedroom to have sex. We're going to be loud and enthusiastic. Try not to disturb us. We'll probably be 45 minutes or so. If you got your weekend homework done, you can play your video games or watch TV. What? You want Mike to come over? Okay, but tell him not to bring the drill. Okay? It's just inappropriate. If you want DVDs, just let me know. We'll take care of that. All right, don't eat too much. Mom's going to cook dinner afterwards, if she has the strength. See you in a little bit. But we can't do that. I mean, most of us that are parents, we feel too awkward, too uncomfortable. And I've really been trying to figure this out. Okay, at first I thought, well, maybe it's the fact that you're partially undressed and in an awkward position doing awkward things. But then I thought, you know what? I'll be sitting in the bathroom. My kids will come up to the door and have full conversations with me. So it can't be that. And it's a shame. It's a shame because I think society would be much better off if we drop these hang-ups and we're more free with our sexuality. I mean, first of all, divorce rate in this country is just horrendous. I know is Johnny Hollywood just found out my deep dark secret that I'm on wife number 3, so that's 2 divorces. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. 1 divorce. Do I have to write letter up? I'm dyslexic. I don't know. 1 divorce this. 2 divorces. Ultra loser.
3 divorces, superstar.
There you go. My wife's lucky, though. She actually made it to 2 high school reunions. The other ones only made 1. But, one of the reasons people divorce, I'm not saying it's the only reason, is lack of sex. And one of the main reasons for lack of sex, besides women don't put out that much once they get you, is lack of opportunity. And if we just had the guts to be like this woman and tell our kids, hey, we're going in the bedroom, all right, we might have less divorce. It's good for everybody. Okay, the kids get to stay in intact homes. Another thing is, we live in a stressful world. I know Tom Cruise thinks we live in a cynical world. You had me at hello. But we live in a stressful world, and sex is a great stress reliever. Okay, it's an aerobic activity. You get those endorphins, the brain chemicals circling around your brain. You get in a situation where everybody's leaving you alone, so it's kind of like a sexual oasis. I might make that my new screen name, Sexual Oasis. Sexual Oasis. So it's good for that. And I also think it'll help prevent teenage pregnancies. Okay, now, hear me out on this one. First of all, it's the obvious thing. Kids, especially teenage kids, want to be rebels. Okay, and if their parents are banging their brains out all the time, to the kids, it's just not going to be cool anymore. They might even take vows of chastity, and unlike, the fundamentalist Christian kids, they take the vows of chastity and then can't control themselves when the lust comes up. These kids might actually do it. But even more important, here's what you got to do. When you're talking to your kids about sex, you got to be as graphic as possible about what's going on in as many positions as possible. It's like, oh yeah, when your mom's fluffing me up. How many people know the definition of the word fluff? Does everybody know this? Do we have some innocent people here? No? Okay, I'll explain it to you. A fluffer is a very honorable tradition and role in the porn industry. The men in the porn movies, well, they have to keep performing. And they can't always do that, so they have girls whose sole job is to keep the guy up and running. So anyhow, you tell your kids, yeah, mom starts to fluff me up, all right? She's like Woody Woodpecker, which I realize is an archaic reference. But she's looking up at me, and it's all good. And then after she gets me fully fluffed, okay, I saddle around the back, she's on all fours, all right, and everything's there for me, the front, the back, and if I look over the side, there's the dangling boobies. And she's the woodpecker, now I'm the jackhammer. And it's all good. I'm looking over, and the boobies are swinging happily. I think swinging boobies are happy boobies. It's like kids on a playground or something. Younger women, I'm not picking on the younger women, but they're not hanging yet. It's more like Jell-O shivering. And it reminds me of the movies, like horror movies, like when a monster's coming, you'll be looking at your coffee and you suddenly see kind of ripples in the water. Doesn't do anything for me, but swinging boobies, happy boobies. Now I know it. Let's hear it for the boobies.
Yeah, boobies.
Because now what's going to happen is when the kids start to get involved in sexual positions, all right, it's going to bring to mind a set of wrinkly, kind of paunchy adults going at it, and things are going to dry up and wilt. All right, so no more teenage pregnancies. Now, I know what you're thinking. You think you got me. Well, Dave, what you were saying about 16-year-old boys a couple minutes ago, how are you going to work that? I got that covered. There's a way to finesse that. All right? And don't go in bad directions on that. Every kid has seen his father naked at some point. You're in the locker room. You might even take him in the shower. And it's totally appropriate. Don't even go there. But you got a 2, 5, 7-year-old kid standing next to you, face to face with the equipment. And to a 2, 5, 7-year-old kid, it looks huge. All right? It's like that guy from the Green Mile. What's his name? The big black guy? Michael Duncan Clark. Clark, is that him? He thinks, huh?
John Coffey.
No. Oh, yeah, John Coffey's his name in the movie. Right? He thinks you're the equivalent of this guy. All right? Now, the trick is, he can't see you naked after roughly the age of 8 or 9, 10 tops. Because penises are like sliding boards. All right? Remember when you were in kindergarten or first grade and you're looking back and you tell people, oh man, we had a sliding board the size of Mount Everest. When we used to go down, there was like the speed of light, you know. And you remember it that way. You carry the illusion unless you go back to the school. Like I graduated Frank Antonides Elementary School, class in 1967. Any West Long Branch people here? Fuck. And you get there and you look at the sliding board and you think, what happened to it? Did somebody leave it out? Well, of course they left it out in the rain. But it shrunk. It's pathetic. If you hadn't gone back and seen what it really looks like when you're an adult, you would have thought you would have maintained the illusion. So if your kids don't see you naked, after the age of 8 or 9, they'll maintain the illusion, and they'll think the boys will just think, I'm too inadequate. I can't measure up to Dad, and they're still going to lie. I think I'm done. Anyway, you've been a great audience. Thank you very much.